In today's episode, find out why groups that work together stay together. Welcome to the Licensure Lifeline podcast. This is your host, Matt Lawson, and today we're going to be talking a little group therapy. Specifically, we're going to be talking about Irvin Yalom and his contributions to group therapy, which if you're in grad school or have already gone through grad school, you know he plays a pretty significant role in what we're taught around group therapy. But before we get started, just a quick reminder that I also have a Instagram account where you can find flashcards and other strategies to help you study better for the test. Irvin Yalom was born in the early 1930s, and he became a professor at Stanford University in California. He's a prolific writer. I'm sure you've come across several of his books. I've read multiple of his books. I actually got to see him speak at the American Counseling Association conference, I want to say right before the pandemic, in New Orleans, I believe. And he's a great speaker. You can imagine a lifetime of knowledge that he just has to share with people. Also, if you ever get a chance to go to the American Counseling Association, it is a great event. You can take care of pretty much all your CEUs just at that one event. Highly recommend it. It's always a good time. But in particular, his group therapy is noteworthy for the integration of existential philosophies and focusing on concepts such as morality, freedom, isolation, and meaninglessness. Yalom identified 11 fundamental therapeutic factors that contribute to effectiveness in group therapy. This includes instillation of hope, universality, imparting information, altruism, and the corrective recapitulation of the primary family group, among others. But he really emphasized the group as like this microcosm where people can feel that sense of connection to others, similar to how they might feel with their families, and get that really supportive network to allow for growth. Let's go over the therapeutic factors in a little bit more detail. One of the things that makes group therapy so effective is this instillation of hope. So being able to witness and see other people in your group growing and recovering and getting better really instills that in an individual, that they can develop hope that they too can grow and heal. Another one here is universality. This is an extremely powerful way to both connect with people. I use this all the time in individual therapy, but also in groups, being able to see that people that are similar to yourself also have similar problems, that your problems are just not unique to you, and being able to see that, again, that installation of hope. If somebody else can overcome their problems, you can as well. Imparting information. Educationally, just sharing knowledge. Another really nice thing with group therapy is you get to tap into the knowledge and experiences of a bunch of different other people that can allow you to grow, kind of like some scaffolding there, but also just better inform you, see some different worldviews, see some different just ways of thinking of things that maybe you haven't been exposed to. Altruism is another factor here. Now, this is gaining self-esteem and motivation through helping out others, which I think is a really significant piece of growth for anybody. It's one of the reasons I think volunteering and things like that is so helpful for a person. Even with learning like we're doing here, helping other people to learn can often boost your own self-esteem and your confidence in your abilities. All right, this next one is a bit of a mouthful. Corrective recapitulation of the primary family group. This is re-experiencing early family conflict that remains unresolved. So within a group, you can have that experience of maybe something that you had in another group, your family, and it gives you the space to really work on that, to re-experience and to come to some resolution potentially. This next one was actually really big after the pandemic. The development of socializing techniques. So a lot of people came out of the pandemic and just forgot how to act. And I saw a lot of these socializing groups kind of pop up that were therapist led or peer led. That just kind of reintroduced people to interacting with other people. If you're ever looking for a really nice group idea, this one is great. Like people tend to flock to this. It's really easy to do online. Um, Even though, yeah, socialization, either in person or over the internet. So it's one of those groups that I highly recommend if you are looking for a group to start. Imitative behavior. This factor is can be really nice in a couple of different ways. One, it can help the group leader just really establish like the decorum within the group. Really establish like how things are going to go just by modeling it. And then also, again, kind of thinking back to like that socialization technique to help people reconnect with what it means to be around other people, seeing other people model what it's like to interact with other individuals, becomes a really nice way to grow within a group. Interpersonal learning. This factor can be kind of tough for some people. You definitely want to do this interpersonal learning part pretty far down the road when you're conducting a group, when you have a group, because this really involves gaining insight into yourself based on feedback from others. And yeah, like having those relationships, being able to talk openly, feeling comfortable with feedback from other people, that comes with the growth of the group and the growth of the togetherness within the group. So, you see this can be a very effective thing, especially if people are a little blind to how they may act sometimes. Being able to hear this from somebody that they've learned to trust might really open their eyes to some things that they need to change. Next up, we have group cohesiveness. So just feeling like you belong to something. Again, this within itself can be a very powerful aspect of a group that I think, especially in this day and age, people have do struggle with just finding out where they belong and giving somebody a touch point around, hey, this is something that you can own. This is your group. We're your people. Can be a really powerful way to provide support and give people a safe place to open up. Last one here, one of my favorites, catharsis, the release of emotional tension through sharing in the group. Cathartic experiences in general tend to be extremely helpful within a group setting, within a safe space for a person. Them really being able to let loose a bit can be amazingly helpful and powerful. Okay, let's go over some questions you might see on the NCE. What does Yalom's therapeutic factor of universality primarily address in group therapy? Would it be A, the ability to lead the group effectively, B, the realization among members that their experiences are not unique, C, the exclusive nature of group interactions, or D, the individual uniqueness in dealing with personal problems? The answer here is going to be B. So, the explanation around this universality refers to the realization by group members that other people share similar feelings, thoughts, and problems. This factor helps reduce feelings of isolation and validates member experiences. Next up, according to Yalom, which factor is crucial for fostering a supportive group therapy environment? Would it be A, imitative behavior, B, group cohesiveness, C, imparting information, or D, development of socializing techniques? The answer here is going to be B. Group cohesiveness is essential as it helps establish a sense of belonging and security among members, allowing them to open up and engage more deeply with group processes. All right, question number 3. Which of Yalom's group therapy factors involves members gaining relief from emotional distress through sharing their experiences? Would it be A, catharsis, B, altruism, C, corrective recapitulation of the primary family group, or D, interpersonal learning? Answer here, A, catharsis is a process through which group members experience relief from emotional distress by openly expressing their emotions, which is therapeutic and fosters a closer group connection. All right, last question. Yalom's concept of imitative behavior in group therapy is defined as A, members adopting the negative habits of others, B, members mimicking the therapist's behavior and attitudes, C, members learning and adopting healthier behaviors from each other, or D, members competing to be the leader of the group. Answer here is going to be C. Imitative behavior involves group members learning from emulating the positive behaviors and coping strategies demonstrated by their peers or therapists, aiding their own personal growth. All right, how about a mnemonic device to help you with remembering all this stuff? Um, so, huge caring. It's huge, Huig, and then the word caring, Caring. So, hope, universality, information, group cohesiveness, catharsis, altruism, recapitulation, imitative behavior, new techniques, and gain through interaction. So, all that fits nicely into that little mnemonic. All right, that is going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to try and do a case study at the end of this week. So I do try to do 2 of these episodes a week. I don't always hit that. My bad. I try harder. But I think what I'm going to be doing is the Tuesday episode will be like information like this on a specific topic. And then the episode I do later in the week, it's going to be a case study where I really break the case study down, talk about some techniques and strategies that were used to come to the conclusions in those case studies, things like that. So I'm hoping that will kind of feed people that are both studying for the NCE and the NCM HCE. So we'll see how that works, but always working on to make this better. Always looking for suggestions. Thank you so much for listening. Really appreciate it. And until next time, keep studying.